Victory or death!
Victor of Starfighters, my name is Carlin Jones, and this is a Starfighter full episode review, and I am going to continue with Stranger Things. I cannot believe I'm on season 2, but here we are. And I brought along a very special guest, a really good friend, a really good director, my good buddy, Jacob. How's it going, Jacob?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. We were just talking earlier. I was like, oh, it's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah. It's been busy trying to finish my new movie, so I haven't been so social.
That's right. That's right. And I did but normally I just tell people I did the lighting, but normally I like to say I like the key grip or gaff, but if it's both, I just say lighting.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You did both basically. You were the main lighting guy, so which will I greatly appreciate. All the lighting looks really good.
Yeah, we'll totally get into that too because
Yeah.
I saw your IG post. I was like, whoa, I did that.
Yeah, man. It looks really good. I don't know if I've told you, but I work at another theater now.
Oh, sweet.
I manage. I'm one of the managers at this theater in Sandy Springs called Spring Cinema and Tap House. And it's got like a full bar, full kitchen. But we actually watched the final cut of Bloody Cheeks in the theaters last week. Just to like me and Chase Nixon, who does our sound mixing, we watched it and he took notes to make sure it sounded all right in a theater before we picture locked. And yeah, it looked really good on the big screen. So
nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So since we were watching Stranger Things today, and I told you my opinions about it after finishing one whole entire season, how do you feel about Stranger Things?
Yeah, I remember when it first came out, I watched the first season like everybody else, and I probably aren't, I may not be as strongly against it as you are, but I'm not a huge fan either. I just kind of found it kind of bland. Like, I feel like it's a lot of the stuff, it's like, well, I've seen this before and done better before. It's intentionally taking a lot from a lot of popular 80s movies that it's kind of intentionally trying to hit the nostalgia for people on. And I'm one of those people where if I see something that's like really heavy on kind of aping something else, a lot of times I'd rather just watch what it's trying to be. So in this case, it's a lot of like, there's a lot of like John Hughes vibes and Spielberg vibes and stuff, and it's like I'd rather just watch the original instead of watching the copy. It's kind of like when, as a kid, I remember at times my mom wouldn't let me get chocolate ice cream, but I could get vanilla ice cream and put chocolate syrup on it and mix it up to make it kind of like chocolate ice cream, but it's like it's not the same as the original.
Yes.
And so that's kind of how I feel about Stranger Things. Is like I don't necessarily like hate it, but it just feels kind of bland. And when I think about what it's kind of inspired by and based on, and kind of like you were saying, I do think part of the reason maybe it was such a big hit at the time and now people are sucked into it and so it's still successful is like at the time it came out, it was definitely unique compared to what else was on TV, and there wasn't as much options. Whereas I kind of feel like if that first season came out now, it would not be as successful.
I don't think it would be successful, and I think Netflix would have pulled the plug probably like after season 2 because they're notorious for pulling the plug in season 2.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree on that because yeah, there's a lot of really pretty popular shows that they've canceled early now. I'll be honest, I don't really know exactly what. I don't really even understand Netflix's business model at this point. So.
Dude, they literally have no business model, and we'll totally get into that because every guest that I've had on here to talk about Stranger Things, we always end up talking about what the fuck is Netflix doing.
Yeah. I don't even think they know, honestly.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. But on the record, I'm gonna say I do not hate Stranger Things. I just don't see the hype. Well, no, I can understand the hype. I can really understand the hype, but I kind of just don't care.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're probably closer in the similar boat than I realized. I guess I got the vibe that you were like really strongly against it, but it seems like I guess we're probably similar. It's just like,
I'm strongly against these characters. I think
gotcha.
the whole first season I'm waiting to like these characters that everyone likes so much, and I just end up hating them because they're like
Yeah.
heavy in plot armor. They're very lazy in terms of trying to make the audience feel sympathetic towards them.
Uh-huh.
It's absolutely awful. When we start the episode, I'm going to give you like a quick 60 seconds recap of everything that's
Gotcha.
happened. What I think was important that has actually happened in the show.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, the one thing I do remember is, other than 11, which, like, yeah, that's her name, right? The bald
Yeah, I've been
girl.
calling her Seven for the longest.
Oh, yeah. Other than 11, I think she's a good child actor, but I didn't get why everybody thought all the kids were so great. I thought the
Oh,
kids
dude,
weren't.
they're freaking horrible. I
Yeah,
don't know. Dude, they're freaking awful.
yeah. I didn't. I was not. There's a couple. I can't remember. Okay, it's been so long, but there's a couple of them I remember thinking like, these guys are just straight up not good at acting.
Well, you know what I think it really is? I think they're such, again, they're like pretty new to this. This is like all of them. This was like their first big gig, right?
Yeah.
So I think really it's the writing, because I think like, what freaking child or teenager speaks like this, and then everyone tells me like, oh no, they do, and I'm like, oh well, to me it just doesn't translate well
Yeah.
in film.
Especially like season one, like the earlier seasons, they're still supposed to be pretty young. I don't remember exactly how. Like I guess
They're
like,
like 13, 12 or 13.
okay, because yeah, by now I guess they're supposed to be like, I guess, juniors or seniors or something. But yeah, I kind of agree. Definitely. The
Yeah.
that you see that a lot in like movies and shows where it's like it's clearly written by somebody who doesn't have kids, which the Duffer Brothers might have kids, but they're really probably young and they might not have had kids at 2016, because I see that a lot when, like, especially a lot of times one of the things I do is I'll read scripts and give feedback to like student filmmakers,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's one thing I notice a lot is a lot of people who don't have kids and are not around kids have a hard time of like realizing like, oh, this is how an 8-year-old talks versus this is how a 10-year-old talks, and how like that 2 years makes a huge difference, you know.
Right.
And I'm not necessarily saying I'm the best at it, but I kind of intentionally avoid writing children characters for that reason.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So, there's going to be so much for us to talk about it. So Starfighters, let's get right into this episode. If you would like to watch this episode with us, obviously you can watch it on Netflix. Stranger Things is a Netflix original. And yeah, so we're going to get started with this episode. And after I count to one, Jacob, we're both going to hit play.
Okay.
So we're going to start this episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, sweet. Okay, so here's my recap.
Okay.
Everything you need to know. There are a group of kids, very unlikable. Nobody likes them, not even their parents. Some shit went down. They got separated after hanging out one day, and the little kid Will got lost or something, and
Mm-hmm.
some type of monster was chasing him. I don't know how he outrun the monster, plot armor, but uh, then he somehow ended up in the upside down world. Which, by the way, this upside down world they keep talking about on the show, this is like a running gag that I've been having with watching season one. I think it's called the Minority Zone,
Oh.
because the show takes place in Gary, Indiana, and I'm like, Gary, Indiana. Well, where's all the black people, or like, like just
Yeah.
the the minorities, and they're nowhere to be found. There's only like uh, one family, which is the one of the main characters, the black kid, his family, and they're like the only black people in the whole show. And granted, when I'm saying all this, we see some black characters now.
Yeah. Well, so this is season two, so this is when they got all the feedback that they needed more minority characters, probably.
Well, I've been saying they're all in the minority zone.
Yeah.
There's three different zones. There's our world, which is where they are now. There's the upside down world, which is where 11 is in the monsters, and then there's the minority zone where all the all the black and Asian characters, Spanish characters. So basically, the recap: 11 escapes her prison. When she escaped, she opened up some type of wormhole. Monster came out of the wormhole. The monster killed a cock blocker, which is some other female character that no one cared for either, besides her family. But even then, I don't think they really cared. Um, and then after that, that's pretty much it. 11 befriends the kids. She likes waffles. She kills the monster, but as she kills the monster, she goes back into the upside down world to stay there, and that's it. Oh, and then they save the other little kid, Will, who is trapped near the monster. That's about it.
Gotcha. That was actually a very helpful recap since I watched it so long ago. I remember a lot of that.
And notice how I summed all that up very short. Every episode in season 1 is way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long.
So I kind of have that feeling about. I don't watch a lot of TV. I mostly watch movies for that exact reason. Is I feel like nowadays a lot of the prestige move shows and stuff are like they have the idea of a movie and then they like spread it out over 8 episodes and that's like a lot of filler. Um, it just annoys me because like I feel like a lot of the shows I try to watch, it's like, all right, well, only like three important things happened in the first 2 seasons, but we just spent 2 hours on it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. So that woman who just like, I'm guessing she just unleashed some type of superpower
Yeah.
to kind of get away from the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were talking about 11, she just showed her wrist and it said 8.
Yeah, so she's from the
A
same
mutant.
experiment.
She's a mutant. So, okay. So I have another running gag
Uh-huh.
on this show. I think that this is like an X-Men parody.
Yeah, this is definitely got some X-Men vibes for sure.
There was an older man in the first season. He died in the first season, but there was an older guy who like ran the entire facility where 11 was from, and he watched them try to make them go with their potential, trying to unlock their potential and all that stuff. I thought he was like Professor X. They called him Papa, so I called him Papa X.
Yeah, there you go.
And 11, and now I guess 8. This other young lady, they're part of the mutant students.
Yeah. Well, at least we're watching a Halloween vibe episode to go with the October.
Oh yeah.
I've been in October. I almost always strictly watch horror movies.
Oh, that's another thing. I do not like horror movies at all.
Oh yeah,
Not at all.
I used to not be into them. I've gotten into them the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, for my podcast, I just recently watched The Babysitter. That's like a Netflix film.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I would have guessed. And as a horror movie, it was mostly just a comedy.
yeah.
But like towards like the middle end of the movie, there was like he went under his house and there was like a bunch of spiders,
Oh wow.
like big ass spiders. I didn't even look. My eyes were closed throughout the whole thing.
Lucas and I.
So someone told me there's a character that's supposed to come in season 2, and they're supposed to be like the most likable character
Oh yeah.
of the entire series.
I don't know. Don't know who that's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean I don't either. Well, I think I do. I think it's supposed to be. Um, I think it's supposed to be one of their girlfriends because one of them gets a girlfriend. So here's the thing too. I know this show is supposed to be like 80s,
Mm-hmm.
but there's nothing 80s about this show, at least to me.
Yeah.
And as they played like this little 80s music or whatever, they didn't do this shit in the first season.
Oh,
They
yeah.
didn't even they hardly even play anything 80s. We didn't see anything 80s. Even the music, like the main theme, it's not 80s. It's like synth pop.
Yeah. Maybe probably have a bigger budget the second season to get more '80s music, maybe.
Oh, definitely. But even then, I don't think, or at least for me, what I'm thinking, I hate movies and shows that are like 80s
Hmm.
and well, I love 80s movies and shows, but when they have like their soundtrack and they just go for popular 80s music,
Yeah,
I absolutely hate that.
yeah, yeah. It always feels sort of like lazy. It's like, all right, how do we show that we're in the '80s by putting on Def Leppard?
Tears to Fear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I always like when it's like a show or a movie has like authentic music from the time period, but it's like deep cuts. Like it's like stuff that someone that actually studied the or was either alive or studied that era actually, you know, knows about it instead of just
Right,
like,
right, right.
it's just like what are the three most popular songs this year?
Yeah, but I feel like the 80s is like one of my favorite eras for music because you don't even have to like do a deep search and stuff. All you have to do is just type in 80s music because it's like literally the decade of one hit wonders. You can find an amazing 80s song that you've never heard of.
Yeah, that is true. Um, so speaking of, I was talking about where I work now. I didn't even think about this, but so I don't know if it's this episode, but in season two, they go to see a movie, and it's actually filmed at my work at the theater I work at now.
Oh, the one that. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I can't remember. I know it's in season two. I don't know if it's this episode, but yeah, it was like they were in the process of like about to remodel, so it still like looked how it looked in the '80s, and so they filmed there, and then it was remodeled, and they had to do reshoots, and so then they paid my boss to basically unremodel one of the areas so that they could refilm.
That's always a treat.
Yeah,
So I think he's in the minority zone.
yeah. Just
Yeah, this is Will. This is Will. He should have died season one. They all should have died.
yeah.
I'm very against that they didn't die.
I'm surprised they didn't at least kill off Will in season one,
Yeah, I heard they're like really big on killing off secondary characters.
but none of the kids. They don't have the they don't have the balls to kill one of the kid characters.
You know, the arcade. What year is this?
uh,
Oh wait,
not sure. Some
19. Oh, I thought the newspaper was it.
84. Is that what it said?
Oh, I think so. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
Terminator.
Terminator was playing
Yep,
in theater.
yep.
Yeah, 84. So if the Terminator's in theater, then this must be in November because that's when that movie came out.
Gotcha. Well, then they messed it up because it's supposed to be Halloween time.
Oh shit! God damn it, they messed it up.
now,
They so messed
I'm
it
gonna,
up. No, wait, it came out.
now I want to look and see if like maybe it had like an early release or something, and
The
maybe in some
Termin.
places.
I remember it came out in November, or maybe it was
It came out
October.
October 26, 1984.
God damn it, it was October. Okay. All right. So my question for you is 1984. Let's say you're, I guess, the same age as these kids. What would you be doing with your Saturday night?
My Saturday, I'd be going to watch Terminator. uh, I mean, I do feel like there's all those like iconic movies back then. I feel like I would still be a movie guy if I grew up back then. I probably would be. Of course, that was before the internet and all that, so you had to. I'd probably be a video store kid. I'd probably go hang out at video stores and try to meet some kids that are a little older than me that work at the video store who can help me get R-rated movies and show me all what movies are cool and whatnot.
Heck
I
yeah.
did that. I used the internet to do that when I was a kid, as you know, but there was no internet. So I feel like that's what I would do. I'd be similar to how Jacob is now, but just the 1980s version.
Okay. Okay. Better question. Um, I remember I asked this question to a friend a while ago. What do you think was the best era to go to the movies, like to have like a really good movie theater experience? 80s for like the movies that came out in the 80s or like the 90s?
Um, so not
For
necessarily.
me, I think it's the 80s.
Uh, so like not necessarily the best movies, just like the what you think would be like the best movies to see in theaters when they came out.
No, like the excitement of going to the
Oh,
theaters, like
gotcha.
yeah, like that entire experience.
Um, yeah, probably the 80s. Well, so like I definitely think like I mean it's not like not my favorite era. Like my favorite era of filmmaking is the 1970s, but as far as uh like like the excitement of going to see movies. Like I definitely think after like Jaws in '75 and then Star Wars in '77, like I think that those two films are kind of considered the first blockbusters, and they kind of made going to the movies like an event. And so I think the
Hmm.
'80s was like really the first full decade where that was like a whole thing. And so then by the '90s, I think it was just became normal that like, oh yeah, people go to the movies on the weekends, you know. Whereas like prior to '75 with Jaws, it was kind of more of like a it's definitely a pastime that people did, but it wasn't like you got to go see this opening night and all together. And then that kind of that and Star Wars kind of pushed that, and so then the '80s was kind of really a whole decade of taking advantage of that and being like, oh, this is cool, a new fun thing that we do. And then there was all these
Yeah,
big giant movies that came out, and that became a big deal. So I kind of agree. I think the '80s would have been really fun to experience that in like real time of like this is now like the main thing we do for pop culture is by the time the '90s came around it was kind of normal again, and also the late '80s HBO started booming, and so by the '90s you were already starting to get like other options versus just going to the movies. So yeah, probably the '80s. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd agree with you.
Yeah, dude, the 80s freaking there's like 3 bangers a weekend.
Yeah. You will see. Yeah, you will definitely like you go back and look at like the release dates. There will be like I remember. I forgot
Dude,
what it was like.
freaking 1984. The last Starfighter came out and the Neverending Story came out in one
Yeah,
weekend.
that's insane. Yeah. I think like '82. Blade Runner and The Thing came out on the exact same day.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's definitely have that. It's crazy.
I think that might be her. I think that's the character people are.
She's Mad Max.
Yeah, absolutely hate her. No, I'm joking. I hate when people are saying like, "Oh, you're gonna love this character," and I'm just waiting to hate them.
Yeah.
I wonder what the women were like in the 80s. We know they had like big hair and stuff like that, but I want to know like I don't know, like just like the culture of it.
Yeah.
Like if I somehow get in a Hillary Duff type woman with big hair, where like what's the like the go to place to take her out? Now, obviously the movies, but like
Yeah.
what
I don't
else?
know. Take her to the arcade. I don't know what did they do in the '80s. Uh, so are they? Is it like a high school, middle school, like all so
That's the thing I
all
don't know. I feel
together?
like they're in. I feel yeah,
Because like
maybe
yeah,
not.
those like her older brother and those girls are definitely like high school, supposed to be high school age, but like these seem they seem a lot younger. Mad Max.
They're looking at her because she's ginger.
Yeah, I've never seen one of those before.
That's interesting. I wonder what makes her so stand out to them.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Sean Austin has.
Dude, I almost did not even recognize him. He looks so different. Oh shit, he's getting it in.
Dang.
I also have a running joke too about Winona Ryder
Oh yeah.
being because we all know like she was a big hit in the 80s and all that stuff, but like after the 80s, she's like really into drugs and started like doing some crazy things. So I'm like, Stranger Things is just a kind of like a biopic of her
Yeah,
life.
that's how she got so. That's how she got so weird. That she went to the upside down world.
Yeah, this is all what she thinks happened in the 80s.
uh, See, like I think it's like obviously like Sean Astin was in the Goonies, which obviously was a big influence on Stranger Things. So it's kind of like stunt casting to have him as like the new adult character, and that's like
Yeah, it's
it's
a
like
little
the kind of
weird.
thing where like that like works for a lot of people. Like, oh, that's so cool. He was in the Goonies, and now he's in Stranger Things. But like for me, it just makes me think of the Goonies.
Goonies. Dude, 1985 might probably be the best year to go to the movies.
Oh yeah,
You had the Goonies, you had every freaking Molly Ringwald movie.
yeah.
You had 1985. What's that what's that? It didn't when did that Back to the Future?
Oh
You
yeah,
had Back
yeah,
to the
yeah. That was
Future.
'85. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Dude, you so much came out that year.
Yeah, Back to the Future was '85.
People were spoiled, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like maybe I used to watch all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah, same here. I feel like there are a lot of movies that I watch younger and I'm like, this is awesome. And then I watch it now. I'm like, this is kind of like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Back to the Future is one of them, and the Goonies.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I still like Back to the Future, but I'm not big on Goonies. So, yeah, you had Breakfast Club was '85. Clue was '85. Brazil.
Clue.
Rocky Four. I mean, come on.
Rocky 4. I still haven't seen the first one.
Yeah, yeah. Mad Max, Beyond the Thunderdome,
That's right.
Pee Wee's Playhouse.
That was big too. That was a big
Yeah.
one.
Friday the 13th, Part 5. Teen Wolf.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
huge.
Fletch. European Vacation.
That was
Yeah.
huge.
Good mixture of things. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like
Rambo
anything in
First
every
Blood
genre.
Part 2.
Every
Yeah.
genre.
Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, fucking amazing. I think, you know what? Romantic comedies are like my favorite
Uh-huh.
genre, but I'm like, a very close second is like very straight to DVD action
Oh,
flicks
yeah.
that people never heard of. They're so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, it was have you ever seen was it Cobra with Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, oh, dude, I recorded it one
Yeah.
day when I was so much younger, and I just didn't
Yeah,
watch it.
it's
But but I'm like,
it's like
when I was about to watch it, I'm like, do I really want to watch this? I saw the reviews, like the actual critic
yeah.
reviews, and people hated it. But then it has like such a cult following
Yeah.
that I'm like, damn, why didn't I watch
Yeah,
it?
it's I mean it's like it's definitely that vibe of like it's not straight to video action, but it definitely feels like that. It's so goofy.
Well, that's Sylvester
Yeah.
Stallone.
It's entertaining. It's uh-oh, she's going to a different guy. Uh-oh. Yeah, like the love triangle, all that. I just don't care.
No, I don't. I definitely don't give a shit. Oh, that's why they're into her, because she's good at video games.
Uh,
You know what? I gotta check my IG messages. I've been talking to this woman who I'm gonna have featured on the
uh-huh.
podcast, and I only like met her through
Oh,
IG.
wow. Uh-oh. There you go.
Well, she's
Modern dating.
well, I thought she was so attractive. I'm like, I have to talk to this
Yeah.
woman, and she's like super into music. She's like an artist and all
Okay,
that.
cool.
I was like, I have to talk to this woman. And then she tells me, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in Athens."
Oh, dang. So that's not too far.
No.
Stop spying me, creeps.
Okay, Jacob. What was your? I'm guessing this is high school. What was your high school experience like?
So I was like heavily involved in like video production, of course, which is how I got into movies. Uh, yeah, I
Wow.
was. Me and Justin were the school anchors for the morning announcements.
You and Justin went to high school
Yeah, yeah, I've
together?
known Justin since sixth grade, man.
Holy
Yeah, I've known
shit.
him forever, dude. But yeah, we both we did like video and we were in video productions and like our senior year, since we were in video productions, we ended up being the anchors on the school news.
That's
Yeah, we got
amazing.
in
I
a
would love
lot of
that.
fun.
A lot of hate
Yeah,
mail.
yeah. Okay, so here's probably the funny. This is probably the funniest story. So we're we're on the school news, right? And me and Justin didn't care about it. Like we didn't give a fuck. So we just we would read the teleprompter, and it was kind of like an anchor man where they're like he'll read anything on the teleprompter. Like me and Justin really weren't paying attention to what we would say. We just read the teleprompter, and so uh, our schools, for every high school's colors are gold and white and black. Uh, but mainly it's gold and black. And so that's you need to know that for the story. So it's gold. Our colors are gold and black. Okay, so the cheerleaders had a competition, right? And so Justin is reading the uh, teleprompter about and he's like, all right, so for the cheerleader competition, you need to meet at the bus. All black cheerleaders go to the back of the bus, and then Justin just like stopped, stone cold, face goes pale, and like this is like live throughout the whole school. And then I was like, keep reading, and he's like, all gold cheerleaders. Oh, he's like, oh, and he named the teams after the colors. I was just like, God dang it, Justin.
That's crazy.
That was
I can
yeah,
see Justin completely
yeah, it was
doing
so
that
funny.
too.
He was like, what? And I was like, keep reading. And he's like, go, go, oh! So, and yeah, that was all on the TV. It was
That's
pretty
freaking
funny.
hilarious.
But yeah, so I was definitely like one of those kids. Like I was like most kids. It was not like I wasn't like popular, but I also wasn't like a loser. I was just kind of I just existed. Like
Right.
there's definitely probably some kids that thought I was uh, thought I was a nerd because they were popular, and there was probably a lot of nerds who were like, "There's no way that guy's a nerd." So I kind of
Right.
I was basically in the middle, and I got along with everybody. Like I could talk movies and video games with the more nerdy guys. I could talk sports with all the jocks and the sports. And
Here's this shit
yeah,
again. The
yeah,
agency.
there you go. And then I was always into movies and music and art and stuff. So I had a little bit. I could pretty much find a way to have a conversation with anybody. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I was the same way, only except for the video productions. I've like always knew I wanted to be in like
yeah,
film, but I remember I would think I was like a
hmm
junior and I wanted to do the whole production video class. They're like you have to like write an essay on why you want to be in
oh
because they're like we can't just let
yeah.
anyone. And I wrote an essay. I felt like it was so passionate what I wrote, and they just completely
Oh
denied me.
man, that stinks.
And I'm like, I'll show those
Yeah,
bastards one day.
they're like, oh yeah, this is the kind of lighting you could have gotten in the school
Yeah,
productions.
exactly. Yeah, but in high school, I was the same. I felt like I was actually popular, and by popular, I mean like everyone knew who I
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
A lot of people liked me. A lot of people didn't like me, and I was definitely the class
There
clown
you go.
in every class.
Do you remember? Do you remember? Like, I don't know if you remember this, but we were actually in one class together at Jet Tech. We it was it
Was
was
it the intro
it
class?
might have. No, I think I can't remember. But I remember when I met you through Justin. I was like, I was like, I met you before, and I don't remember, but it was one of it was either Feinberg's class or something. But like, I was in class with you, but I don't think I ever actually met you in the class. But I do remember. It might have been. Did you take the
I
so you
took
took everything.
everything.
Yeah, it might have been the After Effects class because I ended up having to drop out of that class because I got one of my short films. I was like over the summer, and one of my short films got in a
Hmm.
festival in California, and I went to California for like a month, and so I just ended up dropping the class because I so it
Oh,
might have been
nice.
that because I don't because I thought it was weird that we didn't really talk and get to know each other. And it might have been that class because I was only in that class for like a month.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
maybe.
was
I
funny.
mean, I would have definitely noticed you if you're in the intro
Yeah, it might not.
class.
I don't think it was the intro class because I took the intro class like a long time before because I ended up taking like a break and coming back. So,
Right, right,
so
right, right, right. That's what it was. Actually even just mentioned this to a friend today. I tagged her in like a post, and I'm like, man, I miss those chat tech days.
oh yeah, yeah,
Dude, I would just love to just go there and do absolute nothing, but just see what people are up
yeah,
to. Like, what are they up to?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, Christian actually just graduated there. Like
That's
a
right.
couple
Yeah,
days before we started filming Bloody Cheeks, actually. Uh,
that's
and
right,
yeah, I guess like it's all new people. I know Feinberg and Townley aren't there
dude.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah. They left. Townley retired somewhat.
Yeah.
He can never retire. And then Feinberg got like he stepped down and then got promoted, and now he's like overseeing like a lot of stuff at like
Oh, okay.
not just like Chattahoochee Tech, but like Georgia technical schools or something like
Oh,
that.
interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then I applied for the lighting teaching
Oh, yeah.
job there. Yeah, and I got like a second interview and stuff like that. But then they decided to go with someone who had like a background in
Yeah.
news, which is kind of like the same that
Yeah.
Feinberg had. But I think they were probably daunted because I was so young.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting though because Christian told me by the time he started going there that I think they actually change like they actually have like an actual uh like film uh degree separate from the television one now.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I'm gonna have to look
Yeah.
that up. Like, yeah, because on the side, I also, I wouldn't say tutor. Yeah, there's no tutoring in film. I um I teach at like a
Uh
Paulding
huh.
High School. I forgot which Paulding High School because there's like more
Yeah.
than one. But yeah, my friend who also went to Chat Tech there, who I was also in the intro class with, he's like a teacher there for the PVTV
Uh huh.
program.
Yeah.
And it's like the most like basic learning of like film stuff, right? They're like trying to figure out like what a wide shot is and all
Dang.
that. Right? It's like one of those like
Yeah.
home ec
Yeah. Yeah.
class. Kids who don't have an interest, maybe some kids who do. And then when I started like helping out there, coming like maybe like every 2 months or
Uh
whatever, their jaws are like dropped. They're like, "Whoa, you work on
huh. Yeah. That's
stuff."
funny. Uh, so yeah. You have to remember what school it is and let me know because my
I think it's South Paulding.
okay, gotcha. Because my uncle used to be the principal at I don't think it was South Paulding, but he used to be the principal. He was at the principal at Paulding High School just recently for like 20 years.
You know what it is? It's whatever school that had the Raiders as their
Oh
team.
my God, dude, that was his school.
Oh yeah,
That
it
was where
was.
he was the
Oh
principal.
sweet, yeah,
That was
nice. When did he stop being a
I'm not
principal?
sure. I'm sure it wasn't that long ago. He retired not that long ago. Like I think he retired a year or two ago. So like I don't know. I don't know when
Oh,
you
okay.
started, but when you started helping out, but he might have been the principal when you first started.
Yeah, I started helping in 2018, I think.
Gotcha. Or maybe he was the principal of a middle school. I can't remember. He might have been a principal of middle school. I don't remember. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. I want to do more of it, but it's been so like fluctuated with like COVID and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, that's cool. That's a nice little like side gig.
It is, but it's like it is the most difficult thing to do to teach someone about
Yeah.
film through like a Zoom
Yeah.
chat.
No. Yeah. I bet. Yeah. I think.
It's like what?
Yeah. If, like without COVID, like with a if in a more like traditional scenario, where you can like actually go in and hands on would be
Right.
a lot better. So like, do you like show them like C stands and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I normally because I told you about
Yeah.
Cinder,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? The production route. Yeah. So Cinder's really cool since I've been cool with them since like
Yeah.
2016. They'll just let me just take
Oh, that's
whatever.
awesome. Yeah, just bring it right back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, bring it to them. As long as I like bring like t-shirts, pins, and just completely like you know
Yeah.
promote
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. Cinder's great. So Ben, is that his name, right? Ben's still running. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Me and it's funny that this is all full circle, but me and Joey and Justin met Ben in California, where we were in California for that short film, which is why I dropped out of that class
Nice.
because we were like, "Whoa, what? You're from Atlanta? We're from Atlanta." And he had just started renting out some of his stuff. It was like the very beginning. It was like 24. It was like
Yeah.
2014 was when this happened. Uh,
Yeah. I miss those guys so
yeah.
much.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a small
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. I recently just saw them, Ben and Gabe, because they're like the
Yeah.
co-owners of Cinder. I saw them. It was like a few months ago. No, probably like I want to say
Yeah.
April, around April. No, yeah, probably around April or March. And since then, I haven't seen them since like before the
Oh,
pandemic.
dang.
Yeah. Wait, why is she crying? I missed something. Is she
No.
pregnant?
Uh,
Well, she's crying in the bathroom, so I'm like, okay, she must be pregnant.
uh, she's crying because of. I wasn't paying attention really, to be honest with you. I forgot.
Yeah.
I think it's something to do with like they were eating, and then something happened at dinner.
No. Well, she is feeling bad that her friend died, and she feels like
Yeah, it's
her fault. That
probably
happened in
something to do
season
with
one.
that.
That or she's pregnant.
Yeah, yeah,
She also had sex in season
yeah.
one, so I'm not
She's
ruling that
pregnant.
out.
That's what it is. No, I'm just kidding. Um, oh dang, he's gonna throw his Millennium Falcon.
Do it. But yeah, it's yeah, teaching is super fun. I'm definitely gonna look up if Chat Tech is like hiring because working on set now is like it destroys your
Yeah,
body.
yeah. So,
And all the people that I came
mm-hmm.
up with that are like my like mentors in like 2016, even like the people
Yeah,
from Cinder are like all
really.
leaving.
So they don't they're not really involved with it anymore at all.
Like Gabe or not Gabe, I'm not say Gabe.
Yeah,
Ben, he's like only like at the warehouse now. He said he retired from like on set
really.
stuff.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I'm like,
Is it
you
just
lucky
just
bastard.
because like the wear and tear of it? I mean, I know it's set lights.
Well, not even that. He just working he from him like being on set and then him trying to like manage the
Oh
warehouse
yeah,
too. Cause it's a lot.
gotcha. That's crazy. So are you more interested in doing more like teaching it and not being as involved, not really being on set much anymore?
I would love to do teaching's
Mm-hmm.
awesome, but I would love to do honestly, I would just love to do like my YouTube stuff and then when I
Mm-hmm.
can, like just like a bunch of indie
Gotcha.
productions.
Well, you'll always get a call from me. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we this we I actually might have found. It's still early stages, but I might have actually found a investor for the next movie already. So if
Oh,
I can
nice.
secure this guy to invest and he's interested, then we'll be get the next one going pretty sooner than later. So that'd be awesome.
Heck
The main
yeah.
reason we had such a long break between Stories of a Madman and Bloody Cheeks was mainly the pandemic. That obviously put a wrench in things. But this would be like the quickest turnaround to another movie we've ever had. But yeah, he's just a guy that works at, or that doesn't work at my theater, but comes to the bar at our theater a lot. He's like a regular, and I was talking to him about my movies and stuff, and he was interested in potentially investing. And I told him how much money uh, or my movies normally cost, and he was interested in potentially funding the whole thing. So that would be amazing. Yeah,
Heck yeah, dude.
yeah.
That's how it
So
is.
we'll see. We will see. The I was actually on. I actually was the cinematographer on a student film this past weekend, and
Mm.
oh man, dude, it was rough. Yeah,
Oh, was it?
it was fun, but it was just like they were like so inexperienced, and like so I was basically I was the cinematographer. That's what I got paid for, but like I pretty much I had to set up every light. I had to set up the audio. I had to do like they didn't know how to do anything, and they didn't really like all they
Wow.
had was the actors and the director and like one or two other people on set to help, and they so um, yeah, it was it's definitely one of those where like at the end of it, I was like, yeah, if I ever do something like this again, I'm gonna charge more.
Yeah, and they're like college or
They were
high
college
school.
too. That was the thing. So I was like you're even as
Mm,
freshmen in film school, I feel like you should know. Like they didn't know what pre-production was. I was like, what?
right.
But by that point, I'd already agreed, and they already paid me some up front, so I didn't really back out. But I mean, it was fun. Like it wasn't like they were good. Like I feel like when they get some experience, they might be worth working with again. But as it was kind of rough. But
Wow.
I've started doing more like freelance stuff. So like Wayne, he like started like a production company for we've done like we've shot like I filmed a memorial service, which is kind of odd request, but I filmed a memorial service. We've got like we're
Oh,
doing something
nice.
for like the fire department. So yeah, I'm trying to do more of that kind of stuff to like freelance video work with him, and hopefully be able to quit working at the theater soon and just be able to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, like I'm shooting. I also like got hired to DP this like short film that's like an action film that's like some stunt guys, and I think that one's gonna be pretty cool.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I'm trying to. It's funny that you said that some of those, like the set life is like that because that's one reason why I never worked too like I worked on my own projects, but I always kind of had like a day job out of the industry because I've always been afraid of like getting burned out.
Dude, I think that's what's
Yeah,
happening to everyone.
I mean it's the set life is difficult, especially like if you're on set. Some of those sets when you're on set for 14 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's what it is. Because people either they just stop doing it or they
Yeah,
just move away.
because I mean, there's still like the actual number of productions in Georgia is still really high, right? I think. I mean, it seems like it.
Yeah, yeah. There's stuff found here every
Yeah.
single day, but it's like sometimes it's gotten to a point where it's like most I would say like 85% of it is like
Yeah.
absolute trash. It's absolute freaking trash. And half of them are freaking
Yeah.
Netflix films.
So therefore, trash.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did one. and I kind of like made it like a review about this on my YouTube channel about uh true crime, like the true
Yeah.
crime genre. I think that shit is
Uh,
so trash on how America has like this unhealthy obsession with just people
yeah.
getting murdered.
I agree. Justin is like a sucker for the true crime stuff. I kind of agree with you. I find it's. I don't think it's. I don't find them interesting, and I think that's kind of weird.
Yeah, dude, I did a show called Your Worst
Yeah.
Nightmare, and it's basically like reenactments of stories told by the
Oh,
victims.
that's so weird and so like.
Yeah. Dude, what the hell is that?
Oh my! It's the monster in the under.
I have a friend named Noor who comes on my podcast and my YouTube channel a lot to talk about stuff, and she also doesn't care about
Mm-hmm.
Stranger Things, but she like watched all 4 seasons to just trying to figure out what the hype is, and she told me that it's like literally the same situation every season.
Yeah, so it seems like it's just they go back to the upside down world every single time.
But I mean, like something always
Yeah.
comes out, and then they have to do something to put it back in, and the next season something else
I
comes
think it would
out.
have been better off if it was like an anthology thing where it's like the first season was the upside down world and the second season's a different kind of like supernatural monster. Like not
I think that would be a great idea, but just like not Gary,
yeah.
Indiana, somewhere else,
Yeah.
different characters. Make it like a kind of like how uh what is that,
Oh,
Dark
Black
Mirror or
Mirror,
Black
yeah.
Mirror? Yeah, like that. I wish I
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
worked on that.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Um yeah, I feel like that would have been that was what I thought they were sort of going with at first, and then when I found out basically season two is the same kind of thing, that's another reason for me to lose interest.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, it's a waffle.
oh
It's gonna be
yeah.
11. Actually looks more like a boy than season one. God, I don't like these characters. I don't know what it is. Why aren't you likable?
Yeah, there's a
I think this is gonna be it. It's gonna be the episode.
nothing like a TV dinner for dinner.
Yeah. So we mostly talked over all this. I can't even tell you what really happened, but I can also promise you
Yeah.
nothing really happened.
Well, you know that Max is the new kid that they girl that they all like, and that Eleven's
Mad
living with
Max.
Aubrey. There you go. That's all you need to know from it.
Yeah, that's really it. I think that's really it. And then what's her face is pregnant.
I don't think she's
I'm
actually
still, I'm, I still
uh,
believe that.
maybe.
I'm believing it.
Turns out she's pregnant with the next monster. Yeah.
That would
Now
be amazing.
that would be cool. That's like you have like it's like a scene from like Alien. It's like the monster's like busting through her stomach.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I love. Wait, when did that come out? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that came out in the
79.
'70s. Dude, that movie is so
Yeah,
freaking amazing. I hate that it's like out of all the movies, that's like
yeah,
the most horror because I don't like horrors. But I was so shocked when I first saw that movie. I saw it for the first time in like probably like a
yeah,
few years ago,
yeah. That movie's awesome.
and I'm like, dude, this came out in the '70s. This looks like it
Yeah,
came out
yeah.
yesterday.
Have you seen Aliens, the second one? Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that back in like
yeah,
2016. I think that's like one
yeah,
of the best
yeah.
sci-fis ever
Aliens is
made.
awesome too. The rest are trash, but the first two are really good.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah,
I watched the third one with a friend for my podcast, and I'm like, "What the fuck is
yeah.
this? Like,
Yeah,
how dare
yeah.
they?"
You have like the first two are great, and it's like they just should have like they were lucky that they actually made a sequel that was great, and like they should have just left it alone at two after that. But yeah, the other ones are pretty bad.
Yeah, third one was awful. I also watched Alien. What's it called? Alien
Oh yeah,
Covenant.
that was like the most recent one, right?
Yeah, I watched that one for the podcast too. Violent. It was crazy
Yeah,
violent for no reason, and it was really stupid. And I saw like the first 15 minutes of Prometheus, and that was too violent too. That was too disturbing. I was like, this is not what
yeah,
this is about.
yeah.
Absolutely
Well, it
awful.
was weird about those because Ridley Scott came back for those, and I thought since he did the first one, it would have been pretty good. But those aren't very good either.
No, the Alien Covenant shits on all
Yeah,
the lore for the Alien franchise, and I love the xenomorph. Like I love its biology, everything, and then Covenant
yeah,
just shits on it. Absolutely shits on it.
it does. Uh, was like Alien 4, I think. Is it called Alien Resurrection? That one is so bad.
Yeah, I didn't
You
watch
don't
that
need
one.
to
Thank God.
avoid it.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, yeah, those movies are absolutely incredible. Um, it's funny. We're talking about like 80 movies that are just so much better than
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't see the appeal to this.
No, me neither. I think it's kind of bland.
I don't see how people can get. I can understand how people get so hyped after
Yeah.
season one, and then this episode, season
Yeah.
two, happens, and I don't see how people are like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like the same. I don't know. It's just like the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever. But all right, yeah. But that's
All
the
right.
episode, and Jacob, thank you again for being a
You're welcome.
guest
It's
on
always a
here.
pleasure.
And I might watch episode 2 later on to figure out if what's her face is really pregnant. I'm gonna be upset if she's not.
Nice. I don't think she is.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, thank you again for coming on, and yeah, look forward to having you
Absolutely,
back in the
man.
future.
Anytime.
All right, Starfighters, that was the full episode review, and I will see you on the next one. But until then, victory or death, Starfighters.
Victory or death!